Was to make sure that every customer was happy, no matter how long it took or how much it cost. And that's never changed.
And that's, you can see what we've created from like scratch to this is you know, like tear-jerking to say the least. And when we started, I was 27, Mark was just 22, and in the charts at the time there was Michael Jackson, Frankie Goes to Hollywood, Culture Club, UB40, Simple Minds, hell of an era. We started the company with just youthful enthusiasm and a dream. We had no business plan, no marketing plan, no advertising, and no budget. We didn't know the meaning of the word no, and failure just was not in our vocabulary. I thought that maybe we'd last 5 years at a push. Little did I know that my then 5-year-old son Ryan would grow to become the MD, and that we would be ever celebrating the 40th anniversary here at Farnham Castle. Unbelievable. I didn't even know I was going to live that long, let alone celebrate 40 years. When we started the company, a lot of you were not born, and a lot of you were at college or school. We didn't own a mobile phone. The first mobile phone call was made in Britain a year after we started. There was no internet, no website, there was no emails. The first, the World Wide Web, was, as they called it when it started, was not released into the public domain until 9 years after we started the company. It's difficult to imagine a time where we as people could operate, or let alone a business, without social media, the internet, emails, or a mobile phone. But this company spans these historic timelines.
Yeah, looking back, it is unbelievable. The initial staff was Paul, Helen, my lovely wife, and myself. We very quickly realised that we couldn't both sell and run the company. I suggested that I run the company, measure all the windows, deal with all the fitting and the customer relations, and just leave Paul to sell. We both sold our houses, we moved into smaller properties to fund the business. The first 3 years were tough. We had little money and lived on a shoestring. I cashed in a savings plan that Sean Moynihan sold me to fund mine and Helen's honeymoon, would you believe?
It's incredible. I mean, we started out knocking on doors, and I quickly took over. That wasn't Mark's bag. And for the first 5 years, that was our sole marketing. We didn't do yellow pages or anything for 5 years. And to begin with, in the first few weeks, the first few months, all we wanted to do was get our boards all over Bracknell. And knocking on doors is never easy. We were in a rush to get the boards up, so we would take anything as an order. Like literally, if they said no, they just said, look, if you've got 25 quid, I'll varnish your front door. 12 quid, I'll do your draft extruder. I'll change your letter plate. So any amount of money for any work, shy of digging the front garden, we'd get a board up. So very quickly there were boards all over the place. We were putting strapping boards. We'd go out on the weekends and strap boards up all around the roundabouts at Thames Valley. And so as we were door knocking, we'd be saying, like, you know, you've obviously heard of our company, Thames Valley. So, oh yeah, we've seen your boards and that. So out of nowhere, we were starting to make headway. We only had one team of fitters when we started, so me and Mark had to go out attempting to fit sometimes with like half a bag of tools and no idea. There was one night or one day we couldn't get anybody to fit a secondary glazing job in Viking in Great Hollands, and it was a bugger because it was 2.4 metres wide by 2.4 metres high, and it had to be sub-framed out. So there we were, like we were still there at 10:30 at night in the lounge. I had my vest on, stinking of VO, cutting through some subframe. The customer going, are you finished yet? Are you going to leave? We want to go to bed. So we had to leave the job half finished and go back the next day.
Yeah, I remember agreeing to fit a box sash on a Saturday to keep a customer happy with Paul. How difficult could it be? It was difficult and well beyond our skill level. We got it in, but the finishing was a whole different ballgame.
And then a year after we'd started, I was still using the old sales technique of closing with 40 or 50% discount, insisting that they had to make a decision on the night. It's still the way most other glazing companies work, and it was the way we started. But one night in Derby Green, just outside Camberley, I was asked to leave or literally thrown out of someone's house because I insisted on continuing with my 40% off story and I wasn't giving up on it. So I was sitting in my car outside thinking, I've got to find another way of closing good quality deals with customers that don't just sit there with a pair of braces with their feet in a bowl of warm water watching Coronation Street, which is the type of characters that fall for a 40 or 50% discount. We've got to get out of this rut and increase the sort of image of our company. So I came up with the idea of a two-hit appointment where I would offer to draw their house. So I set up the drawing board and I'd take a picture of their home, and then I'd draw it, sit in the office where we were at Longshot Lane, the little shed there in the roof, and then I would draw the windows, then go back and then close the deal on the second visit. That worked really well. It was well received by people that had employment and a brain, and it worked well. And we started to get deals of good size, detached homes, and within a few months or 6 months, we recruited our first artist, Janet, who was an art teacher, and she was doing professional watercolours and watercolour paper, much better than I was doing. And soon we pulled ourselves head and shoulders above the rest of the competition. Everybody gets 2 or 3 quotes, and we were demolishing them and closing just about everything we were going on. And that basically became our identity for the next 30 years before we had such an incredible showroom. Architecture in glass wasn't just a statement, it was our heartbeat.
Yeah. We had no idea at the time that 40 years later we would be here, or that Helen would give birth to our son, and 23 years later he would be one of the top salesmen of this company. As I previously said, Helen was with us from the start, and she's been with me through thick and thin. She's been my rock. There have been some very tough, stressful times, but you've always been there for me. Thank you, Helen. With thousands of happy customers and a team that stayed with us and grown into this wonderful company over 2 generations that we can all be very proud of.
Yeah, an amazing journey. I mean, Mark's brilliant organisational and financial skills combined with my unceasing insanity and creativity. Our joint passion to always treat everyone like we would want to be treated ourselves, and for both the people that would work for us and also our customers. And most importantly, the most amazingly loyal, talented and knowledgeable team that have walked this journey with us through the 40 years. We've built a rock-solid business where nobody really wants to leave and customers return to us year on year. We both retired 5 years ago, and Mark has become a multi-millionaire, and I decided on a more unorthodox approach. And I am where I am. Instead of where you are. If I'd have been more balanced through my work career, things might have turned out differently, so thanks for hanging on for 30 years, Phil. I know you've done well, no one else could have done that. Ryan then took the reins, and there was a dawning of a new era for the Thames Valley Window Company. He's got an incredible ability and skill on both sides of the business, and he's a dangerously good salesman and has got incredible managerial skills too. That's so rare. Under his leadership, the company has moved into a higher league, attracting even more wealthy, astute customers, top-level architects and property developers, along with the most complex product range on the planet. Mark's son Luke has also proved himself as a great salesman at such a young age, and it's just an amazing feeling to know that both our sons and a massive team of loyal people, all of you guys that have stayed with us and have taken what me and Mark started from scratch and built on that and onwards and upwards to a whole new level. A company with strong morals, creativity, ingenuity, and a massive depth of knowledge and experience.
Yep. We're all here together, 40 years strong.
So let's stand and raise our glasses together.
To us.
Here's the next 40.
The next boy.
Thank you. Awesome, guys. Thank you very much. Great to hear some good anecdotes there, and very amusing and interesting and enlightening, and I'm sure for eye-opening for a few as well. Obviously, there's a huge amount of history here and a lifetime's worth of effort. Obviously, a lot of changes in 40 years, and the company has evolved with it. We've ridden multiple recessions, down markets, wars, Brexit, COVID, lockdowns, but we're still here and we're still moving forward. Markets, trends, products, fashions, as shown by the video, have all changed many times over, but the basics stay the same. Good customer service is still king and has always been the base of our combined success. I joined TBW in 2002. We had a circa £2.5 million turnover at that time, but we were already one of the largest privately owned local companies around. 22 years on, we're pushing 10 million turnover, and we're now one of the top 100 companies in the entire country. 40 years in this industry is incredibly rare. Many do not last 3 or 4 years let alone 4 decades. But that doesn't happen without a lot of heartache and sacrifice. But not only have we survived, we've grown and we've flourished, and we move forward almost every year, and if we haven't grown, we've learned and we've got better. We're still top of the Trustpilot rankings, with our attention to detail, our customer service and our installation skills commended on a weekly basis, and rightly so. But none of this would be possible without a quality team of individuals, and everyone in this room can take credit for that success. I'd like to just have a round of applause for the team, please. I was recently chatting with a few of our suppliers on just some random individual subjects, and I think their comments said it best. So, Mark Dickinson, never short of a few words. John Fredericks. You and all your brilliant staff should be extremely proud of reaching this incredible milestone, and few in our industry do. The longevity of your business is a testament to the vision of your founders and the continuation of that vision. Same in front on the floor. Recognising the industry and the requirements of the end user have changed, and adapting your business to suit these changes, and a constant quest to provide your customers with unique solutions to their fenestration needs that have made you successful, in conjunction with being a decent, honest customer to your suppliers who works with us to find solutions to your problems. Jay Patel at Everglade. Without great customers like Thames Valley, we're nothing. So thank you to you and your team. And Stefan Holtgreave from Solarlux. Without partners like your company, all this would not be possible. We can be more than thankful for the relationship, and I would like to thank you, your family, and your whole team for your loyalty and for going through good times and bad times with us. With all the uncertainties out there, it's good to know that we have a reliable partner in Thames Valley Windows. That is what we built. We are part of something much bigger, and
to those around us, to those that we deal with, to our customers, to our suppliers, we leave the same impression and the same imprint with all of them. It's an honest, decent company to be engaged with, and long may that continue. Before we move on, I would like to thank Paul and Mark for having the dream of starting this business and the desire to create something that was built on quality and could last, unlike many glazing companies. It's a shame the Thames Valley Rats didn't fare quite so well. A round of applause, please, for Paul and Mark. I'd also like to thank Helen Schofield for creating the bedrock of our purchasing department and our processes, and much of that methodology is still in place and relevant to our success today. So thank you for that and all the years that you put into it. And last of all, a combined thank you again to Paul, Mark, Helen and Stella for allowing us to continue with this business and build upon the legacy and the foundations that they've created and take us into the future. So we appreciate the freedom that you give us and the ability to just spread our wings and try and get on with it. Thank you. If you just bear me 1 minute, I'm looking for a cue from Tina here, time-wise. Can I keep going? I've got a lot to say.
You got an hour.
Who's hungry? As we've said already, none of this would be possible without the dedication of the entire team, and in line with celebrating this privileged landmark, we're delighted to celebrate and reward a number of individuals who've been with us for a long time and shared in the sacrifices and the successes of what it's taken to get to 40 years at Thames Valley. In the current team of around 65 individuals, I'm exceptionally proud to say that we have 26 people, so it's nearly a third, that are celebrating, I think that's the right word, more than 10 years in this business. In the modern world, I think with instant gratification and short attention spans, I think it's absolutely amazing, and we are delighted to reward those people here tonight. And first of all, we're going to start with those that have completed over 10 years with Thames Valley, and in no particular order, if I could ask the following to please make their way up to the front. We'd like to present you with a gift token as a small appreciation for the dedication and the time that you have given us. We really appreciate it. Thank you. So, Danny. So, Wayne Brett, if you can come on up, please. Guy Parkins, where's it Parker? Guy Parker? Dan Moynihan. James Russell, Mark Stern, Jamie Penfold, Ray Runner, and John Parker. John Hannah, did you make it tonight? I know Ray and Jamie, you're actually probably pushing nearer to 20 years now, but, well, you say that, but you left, and, you're not going to be committed.
Don't argue, exactly.
I'd also like to give a mention to Carly, Lee Rutland, Brian Hawkins and Anne Margrave, who unfortunately couldn't make it tonight, but equally very grateful of the time that they've done as well. Thank you.
James, do it. Hang on, guys. We're going to get one more with the... Everyone this way.
Yeah, we need 27.
Thank you very much for that, guys. And again, 10 years, absolutely incredible. But if that wasn't achievement enough, we have another group that have completed another decade and dedicated over 20 years to working with Thames Valley. When you guys joined, there were no iPhones, MySpace was a thing, Facebook didn't exist, Beyonce went solo, and Friends aired its final episode. Seems a long time ago. So, will the following please come up? Mark, Elvis Ritchie, Sean Scott, Tristan Chip Chip Yates, Chris Barr, Sean Moynihan, please. And special mentions to those not with us again tonight, Paul Watkins, Kev Gorman, George Coombs, and Jason Manson.
Good on the stage. Well done.
We'll get you into dinner very soon, guys, so I really appreciate your patience and hanging on with us. But we've got a lot to go through tonight. Some incredible achievements by a lot of individuals. The final group we have up tonight, unbelievably, have been with us for over 30 years, since 1994 or before. Obviously I'm not that old, so I had to look at this up, but John Major was Prime Minister, Maggie Thatcher when a couple of you started. Nelson Mandela became President of South Africa. England didn't make the World Cup in the USA. The IRA was still a thing. Love is all around did 15 weeks at number 1. Pokemon hadn't been invented. Luke. Firefax was still kicking around in my house. Or Dad's house. But I'm quite sure none of these guys, or even Paul and Mark, could have possibly imagined hitting this landmark. It's an astonishing number, and we are exceptionally grateful for the longevity and the commitment that you've given to the business, the consistency and the knowledge that you guys add, and the 10s, the 20s as well. But it is really what we're built on, and is what enables us to just go forward constantly, adding new members to the team, but building on the knowledge base and success of what we already have. So. In no particular order, but starting on the installation side, and probably fitting. Trevor Coombs. One of our first installers, as you would have seen from the video, if there are those of you who recognise him. Originally joined in 1985, Trevor moved into surveying and then installations management before departing for a number of years and rejoining again back in an installations role.
Don't you join now?
Next, we got Steve Curtis, also one of our earliest installers. If I'm not much mistaken, he joined as Trevor's lad. Is that right? Yeah. So for any of you younger mates in the room, you wondering what might be ahead of you, please don't be cut off. Steve has worked on every product going. Maybe I didn't hurt. Steve's worked on every product going. He spent a number of years in other industries, kitchens and floorings that I can recall, and as well as other window companies. He can turn his hand to anything, turn his hand to anything, as he'll tell you frequently if you sit and listen. Returning to Thames Valley about 12, 13 years ago, he became our prime solar lux installer and is one, if not the most experienced solar lux installer in the country. So thank you, Steve. Now on to the first of our two stalwarts of operations. This lady joined in 1994, aged 8, as a temp, and decided to go permanent in 1995. I don't think she realised what permanent actually meant at that point. After she moved through office admin, she found her way into an installations role and has made it her own ever since. Susie Taylor. Her affable way and cheery nature is evident every Monday. But she is a key reason why we have 9 fitting teams celebrating 10 to 30 years with Thames Valley tonight. It's unbelievable. Thank you, Suzanne. And finally, this man joined in 1989 and is actually celebrating, I think that's the right word, 35 years straight in this business. Unbelievable achievement and deserves a round of applause on its own. Paul Westcott. Just about every role in the company. Started in the warehouse before moving on to service, sales administration, and then purchasing and installations.
Where's that?
Paul helped me massively in integrating new products into the company with Solarlux, Internorm, bespoke aluminium, increased timber, and he manages to carry out an imperative role even from his country estate. When he's not hunting foxes and shooting pheasants. He's still an instrumental figure in managing the purchasing department. All of you, we can't really, words aren't going to put into meaning what you've done for us, what you've done for the company, the service that you gave to Paul and Mark and helped us get to where we are today. So there is a £500 voucher as a small token of our appreciation, and it's the least we can do, and hopefully it goes some way to let you know how grateful we really are. So, Okay, and that brings to an end the awards part of the services tonight, and I'd like to let you all get on with dinner, but thank you very much for your patience and acknowledgements to the huge achievements. Thank you very much. Thank you. Before we all sit down here, and you, you're not getting away with this, there's one other person that we also have an all-service award for here, called Ryan Schofield. This is totally unrehearsed, so to be honest, we haven't got a clue how long he's been with us, but it's a long time. And thoroughly deserved. What an amazing guy. Myself and Paul, you know, obviously, especially me, you know, being at the helm of this business for 35 years, I know the pressures every day. It never leaves you. And, you know, I've got an awful lot to thank Ryan for taking that off my shoulders and never, ever putting it back on. He takes the pressure every single day, and you would never know. So, very much thank Ryan, and, you know, and finally, and finally to you guys, every one of you, you know, 40 years, we would not be here if it wasn't for you. You know, I just can't, none of us can say enough about that. What an amazing team. You know, as long as you're here, we will continue. Let's get it to 50, yeah?